and it is a true story. I watched it Friday night, and after watching it, how many of you kids are in high school? How many will be in high school next year? How many will be in high school or middle school next year? How many in the next 5 years will be in middle school? You'll be out of middle school, I think. Braylon, you'll be in there. See, look at these kids around here that will be in middle school and high school. They'll be fighting what will be shown. That's why I want to show this movie to these children. But listen, and listen what I'm saying here, and please don't get mad at me when I'm saying this. If you're bad to cry during the movie, bring you a tissue box. Kira and Sherry bawled their eyes out Friday night. I have them in my eyes. Because, I mean, it goes to the point of showing where the guy pulls the gun, sticks it to her head and says, "Do you still deny God?" And she says, "Nope." That all these people that she tried to fit in with are laying roses on her car. One of the neatest things in it, she draws a rose. And it's a true story. It's in the journal that she has now. Huh? Yeah, well, in the movie, it's a rose. But she draws this flower. And the day of the murder, and it has 13 teardrops on it. And her drama teacher says, "What's 13 for?" And she says, "I don't know yet. But I just feel like that's what I need to." And there's 13 killed. Her being one of them. It's a movie that will really help these children. And it's a movie that will help you adults. If you don't know, Columbine High School in 1999 was the first school shooting to ever take place. That was a massacre. I believe it's been almost 20 years ago that this took place. So I want to show this. Me and Sherry's going to rent it. We're going to try to find it to buy it. If we can't find it to buy it, we're going to rent it again for Friday and show it Saturday here at church. Yes. No, we got the projector. But you'll try to get your granddaughters to come to this. This is something that's dealing with nowadays, from years ago. The start of what these kids face now. Just the other day, there's a school in Harrison County was on lockdown again due to a bomb threat. Huh? It was a high school.
North Henderson.
Yeah.
Oh, it just reported North Henderson. But it was on lockdown. All right, Brother Ricky, stand and tell everybody Bible school thing. Got everybody running to you in your head.
Alrighty. This year's theme is going to be commitment. I chose that because, first of all, I'll give you the definition of commitment. State the quality of being dedicated to a cause.
What about Thomas Saints?
We got to be dedicated to the Lord. Basically, just that. Our memory verse on that will be Psalms 37.
37 what?
Verse 5.
Say that again.
Psalms 37, verse 5.
Can you quote it?
The first part of it is commit thy ways unto the Lord. It ain't that long, it shouldn't be hard.
Read it right there. Read it out loud, real loud.
commits our ways unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass.
So there's your Bible school.
Do you remember the first words that I read in Sunday school? It shall come to pass.
Amen. All right, brother. Feel like I was forgetting to announce something, but I'll remember it later.
All kinds of that.
They've already been doing that. Well, that's You're supposed to be telling me this stuff. Youth night tonight. They just reminded me that we did not do youth night last Sunday night. But that really ain't my job. It's youth pastor with these.
Everybody stand, turn to 158.
You been talking with James?
No, I have not. I told James something this morning before Sunday school.
Amen.
I said, James. They said, what? I said, Jesus loves you.
He's the law.
I told James, I wish I could hear it once in a while.
Yeah, I know it. It's scaring me.
I just feel like it makes sense to go better. 158.
Yeah, no doubt. $365.
5 bottom page.
No, not one.
There's not a friend like the lovely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. Help to heal all our souls' diseases. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggles. He will not till the day is done. There's not a friend like the lovely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. No friend like you is so high and holy. No, not one. No, not one. And yet no friend is so meek and loving. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggles. He will guide till the day is done. There's not a friend like the lovely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. There's not a that is not near us. No, not one. No, not one. No master Lord, that His love can cheer us. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all about our struggles. He will guide till the day is done. There's not a friend like the lovely Jesus. No, not one. No, not one. Every saint and his friend forsaken. No, not one. No, not one. For sinners find that He would not take him. No, not one. No, not one. Jesus knows all All the May birthdays up here, so.
Hey, Shorty.
Got one back there.
Hey, hey, come here, Aiden.
Hey, come on,
Come with me.
come on,
Me
hey.
and you share almost the exact same day. You're the 30th and I'm the 31st. I got you.
Is your birthday this month too?
Friday.
Wow.
No, you stay here with us.
Hey,
Sing
birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday, God bless you. Happy birthday to you. We are so glad you're here. We are so glad you're here to learn about Jesus, our Savior, so true. I didn't mean to hit your head, buddy.
Come on, Dave.
Anniversaries. And Andrew and
Misty.
Misty. I got paid for my birthday.
You mean your
Happy anniversary, yeah. Start.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, God bless you. Happy anniversary to you. We are so glad you're here. We are so glad you're here to learn about Jesus, our Savior, so true.
All right, everybody stay standing. We'll take the morning offering, thanks from Josh. Brother Steve, you have Brother Josh this morning? Brother Josh, we ran around the tithes and offering with Brother Steve, the faith promise. Kids will be coming to get you changed. Brother Josh, you God bless you.
Father, we just thank you for this day and this opportunity to be in your house, God. We ask, Lord, that you'll bless this offering, God, and use us bring it into your kingdom, God. That we can be good stewards with it, Lord, and that you'll be pleased with this church. We love you and thank you for everything, God. Amen.
Anyway, you can be seated this morning. Mr. Jose Rose, you getting on my nerves. Yeah, he's back. I don't know what kind of moron it takes. I'm just going to speak bluntly right now. To say God allows murderers, God allows the wealthy to get wealthier and the poor to get poorer. They're a moron. God made us our own free moral agent. And that's why you see what's going on today. He don't want to control you. He gives you the choice.
Right.
I'll go ahead and say it this far. Evidently, you've never known God as your personal Savior. And you need to come to the knowledge and the truth of the Lord Jesus Christ. And you'll see what we're saying. You're a free moral agent. Free moral agent means you have the choice. You have the choice.
Amen.
It's your choice to do whatever you want to do. I ain't being mean when I say this, but it's the truth. Now, moving on. Yeah, he back. He was back again for the morning service.
Don't say they dictate the service.
Oh, I'm not. Moving on. All pledges have been paid, right? He's been paid, everybody's been paid. Okay, all but $100 has been paid for the pledges to the building fund for the fellowship building. But if you got your Bibles, turn to the book of Exodus, chapter 3. Exodus chapter 3. I thought we were going to go a different route. And but the Lord has changed my heart. I was going to preach on where are we heading. But the Lord changed our heart to it's time to fight. It is time to fight.
Amen. It's yours.
Lord, give me every bit of this during Sunday school, believe it or not. I sat beside Brother Ricky and I was writing as fast as I could because the Lord giving it. I've got 10 points. We'll do our best, try to get them out, not hold you here till radio time. Start reading verse number 1. Now Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of the Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of the bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here am I. Now, if you know the story of Moses, you know what takes place with Moses. Moses, back over in the first chapter or second chapter of Exodus, Moses is born, and his family puts him in a basket, puts him in a little river, and I'm just paraphrasing for you. And Pharaoh's daughter finds him and begins to raise Moses. You can be seated. We'll try to keep reading, or I might just skip around a little bit. But Moses is raised by Pharaoh and his daughter as one of Pharaoh's sons.
Amen.
He is in the camp of the enemy. He is part of the enemy. And the whole time God's children are in captivity, they are being held by Pharaoh and worked as slaves to work from Pharaoh. And you say, well, why didn't God just move them out? Hey, he was waiting for the right time to fight. He had to wait for the right person to come along. Well, preacher, when it's time to fight, you just throw down. See, that's why a lot of your fist fights, that's why you come out on the losing end and the other person both comes out on the losing end. You don't wait till the right time to stand up and fight. Well, someone smacks me, I'm going to smack them back. What have you just done? Think about all the years the children of Israel are in captivity to Pharaoh. I mean, just day after day after day, year after year of being slapped around, being pushed around. Why didn't they stand up? Why didn't God move them at that time? You know why? Because the right person hadn't been born yet to lead his children.
Amen.
But the ones, Moses was born, he was born to be a royal king. Well, wait, preacher, he wasn't a king. Now listen to me. Listen to me. He was the leader, wasn't he? He was chosen by God to lead them, wasn't he? But he was raised on the inside of the enemy. He knew the ins and the outs of the enemy. God had him raised right on the campus of the enemy to where he knew the ins and the outs, the way they thought, the way they talked, the way they fought their fights. Moses knew it from beginning to the end. God raised him up right in the midst of the enemy, by the enemy. They had no clue that the one that they were raising up, as they found over there in the river, in a basket, would one day come and put an end to Pharaoh. But ain't that the way God works? Right in the midst of the enemy. Now we went on and Moses is married. Brother Ricky, he's married here and he's out there tending to his father-in-law's flock, leading them. And he's finally all alone. It's him and that flock. God says, this time I reveal myself.
Amen.
And here comes a burning bush. And over there in that burning bush, I'm just laying the forerunning for you this morning. I ain't even got to the first point yet. But over in that bush, of that burning bush, Brother Ricky, it is being burnt and not being consumed. You know what that means? A leaf is not being harmed. I got thinking about this last night. And I didn't realize it was going with this, but last night my wife made me, for the first time ever, I'd never had it before in my life, and I kept calling it kilt lettuce and onions, but it's killed lettuce and onions. Now, I begin to think on this. Why is it, boy, I want you to know something. You can set that stuff on top of your head, your brains will beat your tongue. Your tongue will beat your brains out trying to get to that stuff.
Amen.
And you say, well, preacher, that must have been pretty good food. Well, when you got homemade creamed corn on top of it, you got fried green maters with it, you got fried squash with it, you got a cake of cornbread, you got fresh green beans, hey, cornbread, and then you got fresh cucumbers and fresh tomatoes. Son, you're talking about a meal and a half. Where's the meat? Who needs meat when you got that? But I got to tell you about that killed lettuce and onions. Why would you want to kill the lettuce? To eat it. How do you kill it? You fry bacon. You take the bacon into bacon grease and pour it on it, and that kills it. And son, I'm telling you, that is good. Every artery you have, you feel clogging up about that time. But it is so good. Something else got thinking about poke salad. Now, they was talking about it last night. I'm not going to eat it. Why will you not eat poke salad? Well, listen, if it's not cooked right, it kills you. It's poisonous. My luck, it wouldn't get cooked all the way, and it'd still be poisoned, and my toes would be sticking up. You never go into battle without knowing what you're battling.
That's it. That's it.
So here the bush is on fire, Brother Ricky. Sure, he killed the lettuce last night. But the bush did not get killed.
Yeah.
To kill that lettuce, you just pour bacon grease and bacon on it. To kill this bush, I don't know what it'd take to kill it. If the fire of God ain't going to kill it, then you know what I want? I want that fire in me.
There you go.
Yeah.
If I've got to go into battle, I want that fire in me.
Amen.
And you'll look here. They tell Moses, just a few verses later, Brother Ricky, take your shoes off, Moses. You're on holy ground. So Moses now takes his shoes off. And it says in verse 5, and he said, draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. HG, holy ground. That's for all you texting people. You don't understand words anymore. All you understand is letters and abbreviations. So it's HG. The day and hour that we live in, people could not win a battle because they have to speak full words and not emojis.
There you go.
Amen.
Preacher, you just went and started meddling. No, I'm not. I'm speaking the truth. They do not understand a word now. How many of you kids know how to write in cursive? Truly know how to write in cursive, where it's legible. You was taught in school to write in cursive. You was taught in school? No, your mama taught you. They don't teach it in school no more. They haven't taught it in high school, middle school, or elementary school since the turn of 2000. If you've learned it by watching other people do it. Or you had a teacher that decided, hey, no matter what the curriculum is, I'm going to teach you. That used to be a number one thing. How many of you kids are allowed to use calculators on your test? If you was caught when I was in school with a calculator, you were suspended on the spot. It's automatic zero. You better learn how to do it. It didn't matter if you had to put all your shoes on. You better learn how to do that math. Well, preacher, I don't see how you getting where you're going with this. The kids today have been hampered
Yes.
in knowing how to communicate.
Yes.
Well, preacher, oh, I know how to communicate. I go on Facebook, I go on Instant Messenger, I go on Twitter, I go on the pop-up or whatever they call that other stuff. FaceTime, MySpace, Circle Space, I don't know what all it is, but I can tell you I know how to go on there. The other day, my daughter sends me a text message, and I'm using it, and it took me 10 minutes to figure out what she was saying. She was wanting a little goat, and she was saying, oh, good, and I mean, it doesn't look like Japanese writing to me. I said, well, in return to that, you know what I sent back? Them little pictures and stuff, I just started hitting all of them. If you're going to send Japanese to me, I'm going to send you whatever I think's right. Communication is not there no more. And see, to win a battle, you got to have communication. So God made very good communication with Moses here.
Amen.
He said, here's your burning bush, and let me show you how close you are to where you're at. I want you to take your shoes off, put them off, because where you are, it's holy. Because he was there.
That's right.
So number one this morning, we see that Moses was raised in the midst of the enemy. Moses was doing the work of the enemies. Moses was not happy with the enemy. It bothered Moses. But then number four, we see the burning bush. Then we see number five, that Moses had to take care of the flock. Not Jacob, Jericho, however you say his name's flock. Not that flock, Brother Ricky. He had to go take care of the flock of God.
Yeah.
Jethro, however you say it. Y'all just have to excuse me on my insubordination for language. I can communicate, but I communicate in Southern dialect. But now we see Moses has got to take care of the flock of God. I give you 5 quick points there, real boom, 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 to get this taken care of the flock. Listen, if I'm not here as your pastor, if I'm not here, say, Brother James, I walk out in the middle of the road and I get hit by a car and I'm laid up in the hospital for 6 weeks have all kinds of stuff coming at me. I mean, and I'm not here as the leader of this flock. Who's going to be willing to step up and say, I can lead?
There you go.
You have to check with your wife. Do you have to check with your job? Do you have to check with your children? Or can you be like Moses and say, no matter how many of them come against me? To Moses, that was his family. And now he's going to be leading the ones that they are against. So now Moses can't check with his wife. Not his father-in-law. He can't check with his boss, Pharaoh. Because all of them will say, no, Moses. No, Moses has to step out and say, God, I'm yours. I'm going to lead your flock. And you'll go on and you'll be reading about how Moses went to Pharaoh and would tell him, hey, Pharaoh, this is coming against you. That's coming against you. And Pharaoh wouldn't listen till finally the firstborn had to die for Pharaoh to be able to listen.
There you go.
But God prepared Moses over in the wilderness. He got him prepared over there. He had him raised among the enemy. He had him raised by the enemy to know their ways. But then he took him over in the wilderness and he prepared him the rest of the way for the battle which was to come.
Amen.
Do you think a soldier just goes out to battle with no training? No, he's spending 6 weeks of basic. Then he spends at least 4 weeks of AIT. What? You mean he goes to basic, then he's got to go to another training? Yeah. He spends 6 to 8 weeks of basic training, basic, meaning push-ups, sit-ups, stuff like that. And then once he graduates there, learning, that's where he'll learn how to shoot. That's where he'll qualify in a certain shooting range. He'll go through the gas chamber. He'll go through all this stuff and have to learn. You say, what's a gas chamber? And during basic, what they do, Brother Todd, is they walk them in there with masks on in a gas chamber. They shut the doors. Then they have them remove their gas mask and take a deep breath. Yeah, if you can't do it, you don't graduate. Why do they have them do that and have to face that gas? That way they're prepared for when they're in battle. Just watch the Discovery Channel sometime. When they come out of that gas chamber, snot running out both sides of their nose, and some of them puking and carrying on because the doors are locked. They can run to them doors, but they will not be open until a certain time. Is it 45? I know you went through it. It's 45 seconds. They're sitting in there in that gas. What are they doing? They've got them in the wilderness and they're teaching them, preparing them for battle.
There you go.
But then, not only when they graduate basic, and they have that nice day, their graduation day, and all their family get to see them for the first time in 6 to 8 weeks. They graduate and they get to look at their family, wave, hug their neck, and go on the bus, and then head to AIT, which is advanced training. Which now they begin to hone their skills. What do you mean? If they're infantry, then they're honing their infantry skills. And then once you graduate AIT, if you're a mechanic, you're honing that skills. You're learning to do that job. But once you graduate there, then you can go into another school, Brother Josh. You become airborne. You can become this. You've got several training different areas that you can go to. Yeah, AIT. But once that's done, you're ready to go. You're ready for battle. You're prepared. And then you get to see the first real fight. Look in verse 11. And Moses said unto God, who am I that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? But notice this here. Verse number 12. And he said, certainly I will be with thee, and shall be a token of thee, that I have sent thee. And when thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye will serve God upon what mountain? This mountain. You will serve God upon this mountain. But what did God say? He said, I will be with thee. He ain't going to send you out in battle and let you be alone and not be prepared for the battle. A token of Moses means that God will be involved. God will identify himself through you. That's what a token means. What did you do to bless a little kid? A token. God will be involved.
Amen.
And God will reveal himself through you.
Right.
That's a token. A token. You know, when a soldier goes out to battle, Brother James, all that training he's had, there's only one thing about him. He's not prepared because he ain't got someone with him. He's actually by himself. There might be 5,626 of them in that infantry, but he's still by himself if he ain't got God.
Man.
During the battle, you gotta allow God to have his part and lead and guide through it. But then you leave your comfort zone. Brother Ricky, after God revealed himself to Moses, and here at the burning bush, that was a comfort zone place. There was comfort in that place. There was comfort in that area. But now, Moses had to leave that comfort area and had to go into one of the most uncomfortable places you've ever been, the person who raised you.
That's right.
Say, I'm no longer with you, but I'm against you.
Yep.
And you think about that. You look at this morning. Nathan, come here. I'm going to show y'all something this morning. All right, you stand facing me. Are you comfortable if you hit me right there? Why? Are you comfortable with hitting me right there? Come on, hit me. Why? God said turn the other cheek. I ain't talking about that. Just, are you comfortable to hit me? Why, you scared what to follow? Nothing's gonna follow when you hit me. What if I hit you? It's uncomfortable for him to do it. Number one, he's been taught to respect his pastor. I've had this boy so mad he couldn't see straight. And where he might swing at somebody else, and probably has in times, right? He wouldn't dare swing at me. You know what would follow. He's outside of that comfort zone. So he's not going to do that. You can see Austin, come here. Why are you using these boys? You'll see. And them feet stink. Come over here.
Holy ground.
Good answer. Son, your feet shake the red. They're gonna write a book about that. Now you smack. Wow. Okay, one time. Free shot. All right. Mason, come here.
You gonna call the wrong one, didn't you?
Good. I like trains. I learned it in school. Bacon, Mason Club, me to Austin poured bacon. I will do as well. April poured bacon. Or will you smack me?
He's honest. Kinda love it.
No, but if you want me to, I will. Why, you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Don't worry about her.
No.
Why? If you do it, I'll give you bacon for life. Now we stick with you. No, he wouldn't do it for bacon for life. Hold on, no, I ain't done with you. Was you intimidated yesterday and scared a little bit?
From what?
All them big NFL players? They didn't bother you? Well, I was hoping you were gonna grab Thomas Davis and just sack him real good. He was pretty tall, he said. I've done this to prove a point. Come here, Adam. Let's see if you'll do it. He's back. Watch. What about you? Have you headbutt me? Nah, I ain't gonna pick you, Hannah, because you'll do it on purpose. Done this to prove a point. They got out that it's uncomfortable for them to smack.
Yeah.
I didn't use Josh because he's liable to rear back his. No, I ain't getting Aiden, because I know what Aiden will do. Aiden was rearing back. He's already done it this morning. I picked the battles that I knew they wouldn't battle me back.
That's right.
I was getting out of my comfort. I wasn't gonna get out of my comfort zone.
That's right. There you go.
Ricky's sitting there wanting to hit me so bad right now, but I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone.
That's right.
But sometimes we gotta move out of our comfort zone. Say, God, I'm out of that comfort zone. And you direct my path in this battle.
There you go. That's right. That's it.
If Joe was here, Joe would have given anything you got to do it. We have to leave the comfort zone. Then, when we're fighting the fight, when it's time to fight, we've got to realize that we're fighting what we're fighting for.
There you go.
We ain't just fighting to be fighting. And we're not doing a fist fight. We are doing a spiritual warfare.
There you
Trying to think of the scripture, if I can say it right. Lord, help me with it. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities of the air. I know I didn't completely say it right, but it's close. What do you mean we don't wrestle against flesh and blood? We're not in this to fist fight.
No.
It's a spiritual battle. It is a spiritual
There you go.
war.
That's it.
It is a spiritual fight. Just this week, how many times was you in a battle? How many times was you in a fight with something spiritual? Meaning the devil, something going on in your life. Maybe you hit your thumb and the spirit just about come out of you. Oh yeah, preacher, I about shouted. No, you did when you hit your thumb. You probably about said something that wasn't nice. And you was fighting to hold that back. I mean, every time James hits his bald head, he rubs it and he really wants to say something. I mean, I use that as a joke and as a little bit of an example. But if you ever watch somebody that's normally bald-headed, they'll hit their head every time.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh, Steve, James, do y'all hit your head quite a bit? I don't know why it is when you ain't got hair up here, you thump. It's like a target on a big bullseye heading this way. But when you do it, don't you get mad? Don't it make you angry a little bit? James probably done it so long for so many years it don't affect him. But and you have to fight spiritually to keep from saying something that you shouldn't say. Think about it this way. Maybe you'll understand it this way. When you get in an argument with your spouse, how hard is it not to say something that you don't really mean? How hard is it to keep from saying some words? Well, preacher, I wouldn't have said it if I wasn't angry. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh.
Amen.
There you go. That's it.
I'll make up this reason that I can't. I'll make up this excuse that I can't. What would happen if Jesus made up that same excuse? See, we can't have excuses in battle. What if Jesus made up that same excuse that you used when he went to the cross?
There you go.
Well, preacher, you know I'd be there on Wednesdays and Sunday nights, but preacher, I can't drive when it's dark, but it don't stop you from driving to work. I would be there, preacher, but it's hard for me to get up that early in the morning. Don't stop me from getting up that early for work. Oh, I know I'm going to get in trouble this morning. If we're, how many is willing? How many would be willing to raise their hand and say, look, I'm willing to battle for the Lord? Then why are we making excuses why we can't?
There you go.
Well, preacher, did Moses make excuses? Moses tried.
There you go. Yes, you do.
Moses tried, but God had an answer. God had an answer. He said, Lord, you know me. Who am I to go to Pharaoh? Who am I to tell him that stuff? But God said, don't worry, I'll be with you. Well, preacher, you just don't understand. What, Lord, what am I supposed to say that sent me? And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. Every time Moses would come up with something, God would have an answer. So next time you want to try to come up with an excuse,
There you go.
come up with a reason, why don't you kneel down on your knees and pray, God, you know I would, and then do this. But I can't. God, I am you know, Lord, you know me, you created me. I am one of them lunatic people. Lord, I have an insomnia. Now, Lord, you created me, so you know how my eyes are. Lord, you created me, you know how my big toe feels. And that's why I can't.
Yeah.
I told my dad that one time. He asked me to do something. I said, I can't. And he said, can't never could do nothing but try to find I could do wonderful things.
Yep. That's something here nowadays.
What are you saying? Do you understand what I said there? Do you understand? Can't never could do nothing, but I tried and found I could do wonderful things. How many of you kids ever heard that? My dad, you said it to me, and I've said it to my children.
Uh-huh.
Can't should not be a word.
No.
When you say I can't, in other words, what you're saying is I won't.
There you go. That's it. I won't even try. Mm-hmm.
Moses was trying his very best to get out of it, but he couldn't. So he had to go. I mean, he come up with one right after another, and I could preach another 2 hours on this morning. He come up with one right after another, right after another, right after another, right after another. And God would keep saying, I'll be there. Don't worry about it. My speech ain't fluent enough. My this, my that. You know, when God was dealing with me to preach, y'all gonna find this funny. But I said, Lord, there ain't no way this old boy getting up and preaching. And I was thinking this in my head, and this is what I was telling the Lord. Lord, I can't even talk on the phone. How in the world do you expect me to get up and talk in front of people? Lord, do you want me to get up and tell them how they're supposed to live, and I can't even live right myself? Every time I say anything to him, he said, I'll straighten that out for you. I'll take care of that for you. But he said, you've got to be willing. Here's the thing. I'm sure, and I'm positive right there in the children of Israel, Brother Ricky, there's more called. But they couldn't be chose to lead. Because they would keep up coming up with excuses. I can't do it. 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 I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. The Bible says many are called, but few are chosen. The reason few is chosen is because the ones that are called, all the ones that are called, some of them say, I can't. They don't want to fully give in to God and let Him run their life. And let Him do the battle for them. I ain't gonna make it all the way through it, but let me give you these just real quickly. God will reveal Himself, God will protect us in battle. We got to fight for God and we got to lead the brethren. I didn't make it to get into the preachers on it, but the preachers have to lead the brethren. When I say brethren, I'm talking about the ladies and men
That's
together.
it.
As we stand to our feet this morning. As head bowed, eyes closed, no one looking around. Are you prepared for battle? Are you on the winning side? Are you prepared to go to war? Are you ready to say, Lord, I can, not Lord, I can't? I hope you pray I didn't make you upset this morning. But if I did, you need to have the way this